The criminal and terrorist Zionist regime with this action has prepared the ground for a harsh punishment.
No one has the right to doubt the legal right of the Islamic Republic of Iran to punish the aggressor.
The Hamas chief is dead. The Hezbollah chief is dead, and both at the hands of Israel, which makes you wonder, what is their godfather up to? I'm talking about Iran. Hassan Nasrallah was probably their most important ally, sort of like the perfect proxy, loyal, powerful, and effective. So what is Iran doing to take revenge for his death? Well, so far it's been the usual, rants against Israel and promises of retaliation.
In our opinion, America is a partner in this crime and cannot separate itself from this reality in any way. And the blood of the martyrs of this incident will certainly not go unanswered, and we will definitely stand by Lebanon.
It's like a déjà vu. Think back to late July this year. Israel killed Hamas chief Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran. And what did Iran do? The very same thing. Rants against Israel and promises of retaliation. Well, it's been more than 60 days since Haniyeh's assassination, but Iran is yet to hit back. It says this is restraint, a show of maturity by the so-called rogue regime. Their president talked about it at the United Nations General Assembly. He said Iran does not seek war.
The Islamic Republic of Iran seeks to safeguard its own security, not to create insecurity for others. We want peace for all and seek no war or quarrel with anyone.
If so, they deserve credit. Their leaders have certainly been more responsible than Netanyahu. But let's be honest here. It makes Iran look weak, as if they don't have the stomach for war. And that's a fair argument. You need to check certain boxes before going to war. Your economy must be robust, your allies must be in agreement, and your enemy should ideally be weakened. How many of these boxes can Iran check? Certainly not economy. Their inflation is nearly 50% and joblessness has reached 10% in Iran. Iran's economy cannot bankroll an all-out war. Secondly, allies. The only options are China and Russia. Beijing is not about to fight a war on the other side of Asia. What about Moscow? They're already stuck in Ukraine. Even after Haniyeh's killing, Putin's message was caution. He said, go after Israel, but limit civilian deaths. That's what he told Iran. Will that Putin ever support an all-out war? Highly unlikely, which brings us to the last condition, the enemy's strength. Israel's military is certainly spread thin at the moment, but Iran won't just be fighting Israel. If a war does break out between Iran and Israel, the West will defend Israel. No two ways about it. The White House says it is preparing for all contingencies.
We're watching this very, very closely to see how, if and how, Hezbollah and or Iran may react, as well as the militia groups in Iraq and Syria. We have to be prepared for some sort of response. We have to make sure that we are ready, and we are. We believe we have the force capability we need in the region.
We saw that in April too. Iran launched hundreds of drones and missiles at Israel, but the US and the UK shot them down. Frankly, that seems to be Netanyahu's plan. He's basically setting a trap for Iran, luring them into a direct military face-off. Today, Netanyahu needled Iran further. He addressed the Iranian people directly.
Every day, you see a regime that subjugates you make fiery speeches about defending Lebanon, defending Gaza. Yet every day, that regime plunges our region deeper into darkness and deeper into war. Every day, their puppets are eliminated. Ask Mohammed Deif. Ask Nasrallah. When Iran is finally free, and that moment will come a lot sooner than people think, everything will be different.
If war breaks out, Netanyahu will have a free hand. He can complete his career-long ambition to dismantle Iran's nuclear facilities, which is why Tehran is watching from the sidelines. But do not mistake them for paper tigers. Iran's army is 3 times bigger than Israel's. They have more soldiers, more ships, and more rockets. If they want, they can inflict considerable damage. After all, Israel is a small country. But the current circumstances do not work for Iran. Their economy, their domestic political climate, none of it favors them. So Iran would much rather wait for the tide to turn, to strike when it suits them. Again, just one problem here. It's not a good look in geopolitics. Two of your top allies have been killed by Israel, Haniyeh and Nasrallah. Another ally, the Houthis, are being bombed. So Iran is failing as a godfather. They're looking unreliable and ineffective. So here's Tehran's dilemma. They cannot allow Israel to dismantle their proxy network. At the same time, they don't want all-out war. It's a very delicate balance for them, one that they've not been able to strike so far. But in the long term, expect changes. This war will force Iran to think hard about their nuclear program. It will reinforce their long-held fears. The Iranian president touched upon this issue, and frankly, he made a good point.
They want us not to have missiles, okay, but Israel also needs to be disarmed. If we don't have missiles, they will bomb us whenever they want, just like in Gaza. And if we object, they will tell us to be quiet.
In Iran's mind, the scores have not been settled. Even if the Gaza war ends, it won't be settled because Israel humiliated Iran and Iran has not responded. Unless they do, the scores will not be equal. It makes the coming months very dangerous for the region. Iran's prestige and pride are at stake. Let's see how much longer they can hold off.
Firstpost decodes the U.S. election. Explains how America chooses its president. Your primer on the race to the White House. Everything you need to know about how America votes and its global implications. U.S. Election Explained. Every Monday and Thursday only on Firstpost.